Well, okay, I have to dive in because I love the show. So, with such a cliffhanger in season one and the reveal that Dodge is still alive and the Locks didn't defeat her, how did you guys really approach diving into season two? Is it safe to say that Dodge will be the big bad throughout the course of the season, or will we see kind of a shift? And I'll start with you, Meredith.
Well, Dodge has a buddy now this season. So, we see in the finale of season one that Eden gets hit by one of those demon bullets. So now we have a kind of a different dynamic at play in season two, where we have Gabe and Eden as our primary villains. And we also get to enjoy Gabe in scenes with Kinsey, where Kinsey has no idea that her boyfriend is actually Dodge. So there's a lot of tension that we get to play out there. And then we also have this really fun dynamic between Gabe and Eden, who are kind of on their own mission at the same time trying to live with each other because they have very different personalities. And Eden is a brand new demon. And so everything is brand new and delicious to her. And she's a bit reckless. And Dodge has been a demon for a long time and sort of knows all the demon rules. But Eden has no interest in the demon rules. So we have a really fun dynamic that we get to play between them this season.
I mean, listen, Eden doesn't really play by anyone's rules, before she became a demon. So you can only imagine how that will 100% be amplified this season, I feel like. And so I'm sorry.
I just said exactly. You have it exactly right.
So for you, Carlton, with a property like Locke Key that has so much IP to pull from, how do you guys really decide kind of which comics to use and how much from the comics to include, while also kind of breathing new life and new imagination to the series?
It's a very intuitive process, Kay. Meredith and I just spent a lot of time talking about the show, what we want to see. Obviously, those conversations are informed by having read the comics multiple times. And there certainly are things in the comics that are kind of clear bus stops that we want to, visit. And so, there aren't any kind of hard and fast rules to it. It's sort of like the show is its own thing and the comic book is its own thing. And as Joe Hill said to us once, a literal adaptation would be boring. And so once we started down the road of the show, it became its own organic entity. But there's plenty of room for the elements of the best elements of the comic books to kind of filter into our version of the story. And actually, to me, that's the funnest part of the process, is when the two of us just get to sit around and talk about the story and about what we want to see and how we want it to evolve and what we want to have happen next. And we just have had the good fortune of making 2 seasons back to back. And so we got to do a lot of that.
Ooh, I love that. Okay, so my final question is for each of you, and Meredith, you can answer first, but whose character growth are you most excited for fans to see in season 2?
I think I'd have to say Kinsey, especially because when we meet her, in season 1, she's this kind of anxiety-ridden girl who we get to watch over the course of 2 seasons really grow into her own and to find some confidence within herself. And so I really enjoyed writing to her, and also to see Amelia Jones, who's so incredible, play her. And so I think for me, that's been one of the most exciting evolutions for the show.
Ooh, what about for you, Carlton?
I thought it was really fun to our kind of villains in season 2 were really, really fun to write. Seeing Griffin Gluck play an antagonist, which is very different than other characters he's played in movies and television, was fantastic. And the dynamic between Halia Jones, who plays Eden, and Griffin was just really, really fun. And every time they did a scene together, it was really delightful. So that was something I really enjoyed.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait for everyone to see season 2. I've only seen a snippet, but I'm loving it so far. And just thank you so much for chatting with Nerdophiles.
Awesome. Thanks, KB.
Thanks. Have a good day.